I'm Craig Brailsford, and welcome to another episode of Small Stocks, Big Money. Today's show is different. We're bringing you highlights from the Centurion Conference, where we sat down with a range of emerging growth companies shaping the future of their industries. Now, for those of you new to the show, RedChip is an investor relations, media, and research firm focused on emerging growth companies. Our platform combines global multimedia with traditional investor relations, reaching investors worldwide. Now, today's show features interviews with the executives of 4 companies. First up is EcoWave Power. EcoWave Power is a leading onshore wave energy company that converts ocean and sea waves into clean, reliable, and cost-efficient electricity using its patented and intelligent technology. We'll learn more when we speak with the CEO later in the show. Up next is Norsemont Mining. Norsemont Mining is a Canadian resource development company focused on advancing and developing the past-producing Choquelimpié gold, silver, copper project in northern Chile. A project with both significant and existing resources and remarkable upside. We'll learn more when we speak with the CEO later in the show. Up next is Eloro Resources. Eloro is a publicly traded exploration and mine development company focused on developing its potentially giant Isca silver tin polymetallic property in the Potosí department of southern Bolivia. We'll learn more when we speak with the CEO later in the show. Up next is SafeSpace Global. SafeSpace Global, through its subsidiaries, operates as a multimodal AI technology solutions company in the United States, Europe, Singapore, and India. It offers SafeFace Fall Monitoring, a product that utilizes AI monitoring tools for resident safety in senior living. We'll learn more when we speak with the CEO later in the show. Before we move forward, let's take a look at RedChat, a revolutionary AI chatbot for small-cap stock analysis.
A new era of small-cap research has arrived with RedChip's RedChat, the fastest, most accurate AI assistant for small caps. The days of spending hours sifting through press releases, 10Ks, 10Qs, 8Ks, 13Fs, 13Gs, and other filings is over. Now, get answers in seconds on 4,000 small-cap stocks in one portal. Simple, fast, accurate, detailed answers. Meet small caps with RedChat.
Now, let's move on to our quote of the week. It comes from the book, Small Stocks, Big Money. The single most important way we attempt to manage risk in any environment is by seeking to buy stocks very cheaply. We never want to pay too much. This quote comes from Bill Hench of Royce Opportunity Funds, and it is featured in Chapter 3 of Small Stocks, Big Money, a book of exclusive interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Get a digital copy on Amazon today for just $21. Now, let's get started with our first interview today with EcoWave Power.
Welcome back to the Miami Summit hosted by Centurion One Capital. With us today, we have Ina Braverman, founder and CEO of EcoWave. Ina, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
For our viewers new to this story, can you give us a brief overview of EcoWave, your onshore wave energy technology, and your grid-connected power station in Israel?
Of course. So EcoWave Power is an innovative technology for generation of clean electricity from ocean and sea waves. We attach floaters to existing man-made structures such as piers, breakwaters, jetties, and the up and down movement of that floaters produces clean electricity. We have a grid-connected power station in Israel, already connected to the grid for 3 years, which received investments from the Israeli government and from EDF, Électricité de France. And I think our technology is becoming especially relevant right now in the AI and data center era because they're very hungry. The data centers are super hungry for electricity, and most of them are moving towards the edge. Most of them are being installed on the coastline or near water for cooling effects. So imagine how wave energy is now becoming the energy layer for AI infrastructure.
And you've positioned wave energy as a renewable power source for coastal AI data centers, energy-intensive ports. How is that commercial pipeline shaping up, and when do you see it translating into meaningful revenue?
So I think that the AI data center opportunity is massive right now, because whereas in the past, most companies were focused on solar and wind, and they saw wave energy kind of as a luxury. You know, we can do it, we cannot do it, we have enough electricity. Right now, the AI industry is desperate for energy. Microsoft just announced that they're canceling projects, data centers, because they don't have enough electricity. So people are looking for energy everywhere. People are thinking harnessing energy in space and putting an orbit of solar powers around the sun. And I'm telling those people, before you go, putting solar powers around the sun or fly into space, look at Mother Earth, look at our planet. Let's harness the power of the waves, which according to the Energy Council can generate twice the amount of electricity that the world produces now, and how it can ramp up our revenue stream and shorten our time to market. Basically, instead of going through the grid, being in the queue to the grid, having to go through all the regulation and legislation involved in connecting to the grid, we can directly connect to the power centers, powering them directly. And then it's much simpler, it's much easier, and the big advantage is that we can deliver fast. It takes us 12 to 24 months to deliver a power station, whereas nuclear or power in space can take hundreds of years. So wave energy will make a change.
And your U.S. pilot at the Port of Los Angeles with Shell just delivered a final report. What's the read-through to utility scale projects? And are the follow-on commitments with Shell or other partners in active discussion?
So first of all, we want to say that Shell has been an amazing partner along the way. We did successfully the pilot with them in the Port of LA. We also did an extensive feasibility study for the whole United States coastline, identifying 77 sites in the United States suitable for commercial installation. Our next phase is delivering the report to the Port of LA, and we want to enter discussions with the Port of LA of basically installing a commercial scale wave energy project on the long breakwater outside the Port of LA, where we can install up to 60 megawatts of power. In simple words, that's like 60,000 households or 4 data centers. So it depends what you want to use the energy for.
Right. So finally, what's the essential value proposition? What should investors why should they take an interest today in EcoWave Power?
So I think EcoWave Power is a very unique product. We're the only one that's actually deploying wave energy. We have operational experience from Israel, from LA, and we have projects in development in Taiwan, in India, and in Portugal. We're also started establishing contact with data centers builders, and we're in advanced negotiation to start powering those type of data centers, which is very, very exciting. And I think that also the EcoWave Power stock and how the company is held is very healthy. 50% of the company is held by myself and the other co-founder of the company. So our interest is very much aligned with the interest of the shareholders. The company has no warrants outstanding, no debts, super clean company with a super cool product in the right time, in the right place.
Fantastic. That's Ina Braverman, founder and CEO of EcoWave Power. For investors looking for more information, where should they go?
So they can definitely go to our website, ecowavepower.com, and follow us on NASDAQ, stock symbol WAVE.
Thank you for joining the show.
Thank you.
To get more information on EcoWave Power, visit ecowavepower.com. You can also call 1-800-RedChip to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. Now, let's move on to our next interview today with Norsemont Mining.
Hi everyone, this is Barrett Boone. We are coming at you live from the Centurion One Miami Summit. It is a beautiful day outside, and it's a pleasure and privilege to be joined by Mark Levy, who's the chairman and CEO of Norsemont Mining. Thank you very much for taking the time.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So for the viewers at home, could you tell us a little bit about the project in Chile and what the next steps are in terms of you moving into production?
Sure, yeah. We're in northern Chile. We have a full plant, 3,000 ton a day plant. We are moving to production in Q4 2027. We've got a cash cost of about $750 an ounce, and we'll be able to produce about 35,000 ounces, so about $120, $140 million profit based on current gold prices. That's basically our goal over the next 14 months.
All right, so speaking of gold, let's talk precious metals. What trends are you seeing in the industry right now? What trends are you seeing with the commodities themselves? And how do you think investors could stand to benefit?
Sure. I mean, recently, because of what's going on politically with Iran and other things, there's been a major pullback in the gold price, I think, and silver price, which has created a great opportunity for new people to invest. And we have been getting a lot of interest from ultra high net worth and family offices that typically wouldn't get involved in the gold silver space. And I think it's really important for the general public to be investing. Do research, obviously, but there's a lot of big cap companies need to have exposure into gold and silver. I think it's really important over the next few years.
Absolutely. I would tend to agree as a precious metals investor myself. So at Norsemont, do you have any sell-side analysts currently covering you?
We have no analyst coverage. Unfortunately, we haven't done a bank-led funding. We typically fund from very famous mining leaders in the space. So that's one of the weaknesses, is that we don't have that analyst coverage, which hopefully we'll address later this year.
Well, what we've seen is oftentimes the best times to buy small cap stocks are when they have little to no coverage from the street. You wait for that coverage to come on, the institutional audience kicks in, and well, we know what happens after that. So I suppose I could wrap us up with A, how has the Centurion Conference been for you? And then B, what are the key takeaways you want investors here and investors watching to take home with them?
Sure. I mean, the conference has been great. It's the second time we attend. So we have some existing investors to update and met a lot of new quality investors. So we really appreciate Centurion and all the work that they've put together for this conference. With regards to the company, myself as the founder of it, our family's invested $10 million. So we're aligned with our shareholders. So $10 million of our hard-earned money is in there. We own about 20%. All the funding that we've raised from very famous investors like Larry Lepard, Kraskat, Quinton Henning, Paul Matizik, Victor Cantori, and one of our biggest investors, Frank out of Germany, has put $14 million in and controls about 20%. So all the money we've raised is from strategic guys that want a big win, and us getting into a production scenario in a environment where we believe gold will get to a higher price level. Some people believe, some Lassonde says 17,000, but I'm a believer $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 gold will generate enough profit to turn this into a very large scale producer in a very short period of time and create a lot of value for our shareholders and protect. A lot of guys, I think my concern is the retail mom and pops don't get it yet, and they need to expose themselves. Even big cap gold stocks, forget about my company, come into a big cap stock. They need exposure. The markets, the world is changing. There's going to be a shift in value creation and wealth creation for a lot of the people that understand, like yourself, gold and silver and metals market.
Very well said. And frankly, I couldn't agree more. Once again, this is Mark Levy. He is the CEO and founder of Norsemont Mining.
Appreciate it. Good seeing you again.
Likewise.
Thank you.
To get more information on Norsemont Mining, visit norsemont.com. You can also call 1-800-RedChip to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. Now, let's move on to our next interview today with Eloro Resources.
Hi, this is Barrett Boone. I am here at the Centurion One Miami Summit, and I am joined by Thomas Larson, who is the chairman and CEO of Eloro Resources. Thomas, thank you very much for taking some time out to meet with us today.
Barrett, thank you. Pleasure to meet you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So for viewers at home, maybe you could go into a little bit of the story that you've been telling today here at the conference. What does Eloro Resources do? What does the asset look like? And how far along are you?
So this could go on for 2 hours. We'll keep it down to basically our profile. We're that of an exploration development company, publicly traded. ELO's the symbol on the TSX, the Senior Board of Toronto, and also on the OTC QX. Our main focus is that of the Iska silver tin, lead zinc, deemed a polymetallic, silver dominant deposit in the southern area of Bolivia, in the department just south of Potosi, high up in the Altiplano on the old volcanic belt along what they call the tin porphyry system.
How interesting. How interesting. So this was a volcanic deposit that was probably formed hundreds of millions of years ago. Maybe now we could take a step back and just What trends are you seeing in the precious metal space, especially with junior silver miners? What's working for you? What's not working for others?
I think seriously, just the sudden awareness from the general public about silver, especially in silver's role. Tins are more of a sort of a quieter market, limited market, 300,000 tons of tin annually produced worldwide, very little in the Western Hemisphere. Silver is a much bigger commodity. I mean, over 1 billion ounces of silver produced annually. Actually consumed annually. 600 million ounces usually produced annually. Prices have almost tripled, back down at $75 US, but silver trended for many years between $15 and $20. So there's a major awareness in regard to the silver and the silver deficits that are becoming very, very apparent. So silver also has a strong hedge to that of gold. There's always has been a historic ratio, 60 to 1 usually, and silver has been trading up to 70, 80 to 1. That means 70 ounces, 80 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold. So as long as gold is moving up, regardless of the silver market, silver tends to follow.
That's what we've seen on our end as well, working with a few juniors and producers in the space. I suppose maybe we could wrap it all up. Tell us how your experience at the Centurion Conference has been, and then what key takeaways do you want investors here and watching at home to take away about Eloro?
Yeah, I think, Key and his team have done a great job. Key and his team with us. I was at the NASA show back in November. He's brought a lot of awareness, especially to emerging growth type resource companies. We have a sister company, junior company called Cartier Silver, and Kia and team were very, very instrumental in allowing some financing to go forward with us. He's got a strong network, and I think they're just a very, very responsible group. And so I'm very pleased to be here.
I would tend to agree. So just circling back to that value proposition question, maybe in 30 seconds, could you summarize why the Eloro story is so exciting today?
Well, we've outlined close to 80 million ounces. Well, think about that, 80 million ounces of silver, average grade 40 gram, which is almost an ounce and a half in what they deem an indicated category. In other words, mineable, in our case, open pit. We have to move into a 25-meter spacing to take it to a feasibility study. So that's over 100 million ounces of silver in the upper part of this volcanic, really the caldera, the center of this volcano, which is up to around 3,800 meters. The basic ground level of the center of the caldera is around 3,000 meters, and that's where you're going to see a fairly large open pit operation in time.
I understand. I think the feasibility study and all the related studies would be major catalyst points for the stock. Thank you very much for taking the time to meet with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
To get more information on Eloro Resources, visit elororesources.com. You can also call 1-800-REDCHIP to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. Now, let's move on to our next interview today with SafeSpace Global.
Welcome back to the Miami Summit being hosted by Centurion One Capital. With us today, Scott Bora, founder and CEO of SafeSpace Global. Scott, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
For our viewers new to the story, can you give us a brief overview of SafeSpace Global? Your AI safety and security product suite covers senior living, access control, schools, and more. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we believe AI is the most important tool that's ever been created. And we're using that tool to save lives in schools for school shootings and to save lives in nursing homes for elopements. That's when mom or dad has dementia and they walk out the front door and they die. And so for us, using AI to save the two most vulnerable population is exciting, and it's great to be a part of.
And SafeSpace currently trades on the OTCID. What does the uplisting roadmap to the NASDAQ or NYSE American look like? What are the gating milestones, especially given the new $5 million market cap minimum? What's your plan?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So we always begin with the end in mind. So our roadmap has started several years ago, and part of that roadmap is independent audit committee, independent comp committee, independent corporate governance committee, PCAOB audited financials. So we've done that for the last 5 years, and then of course you got to have the shareholders, 400 round lot shareholders minimum. It is $5 million shareholders equity. And they have moved the needle from $2 to $4, both the NASDAQ and the New York. And so, again, that's our next check mark. And so that's why we're on the road. That's why we're getting out and telling our story.
So AI safety and surveillance has become an increasingly crowded category. There's some well-funded competitors out there, Verkada, Ambient AI, Zero Eyes. What's the defensible moat for SafeSpace? And how do you protect your gross margins as the larger platforms are bundling?
Yeah, that's a great question. The defensible moat for us is Zero Eyes is a great company. They're all great competitors. They're all doing great things. I followed those guys for 8 years myself. But when we got into their space, how do we defend ourselves? How do we make ours better? So ours is what we call multimodal AI, physical AI. So it's not just gun detection. Ours is biometric facial recognition. It's gun detection. It's human in the loop learning. And we put a press release out about 6 months ago. We've searched around the world for concealed weapons detection. And we hope to soon sign that exclusive agreement with a company that has concealed weapons. So when a person drives in our parking lot, their technology will detect the nutricellulose in a gun. It will alert our AI, and our AI will alert the human in the loop. And again, we'll have a product like no other. That's what's exciting.
That's very exciting. As a former teacher myself, taught high school, I'm very grateful for what you're working on. For investors out there, what's the essential value proposition? Why should investors take an interest today in SafeSpace Global?
Yeah, exactly. So again, for our two verticals that we're focusing on, nursing homes with the Lobit, the big competitor out there, again, is WonderGuard. And for WonderGuard, you have to wear a watch-like thing, and they hate wearing them. They cut them off. The batteries die. With our technology, it's biometric facial. Mom or dad gets near a door that they're not supposed to be at, an exit door. So it identifies mom or dad with a flight risk, detects the threat, which is them leaving, and alerts, in this case, the nurse or doctor, locks the door, life saved.
That's great.
Yeah. So again, with both categories, nursing homes and schools, we have a differentiator property like nobody else.
And for investors looking for more information, where should they go?
Yeah, you should go to www.safespaceglobal.ai.
Very exciting. Thank you so much, Scott Boroff, CEO, founder of SafeSpace Global. Thank you so much for joining the show today.
Thank you. Look forward to it.
To get more information on SafeSpace Global, visit safespaceglobal.ai. You can also call 1-800-RedChip to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. We also have a free weekly newsletter you can subscribe to at redchip.com, featuring emerging growth companies like SafeSpace Global. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel. Also, go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO, and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, visit redchip.com and subscribe today. In addition to our newsletter, you can also order Small Stocks, Big Money. This is a book written by RedChip's CEO, featuring interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Get a digital copy on Amazon for $21. Now let's recap the companies featured today. First, you met EcoWave Power. EcoWave Power is a leading onshore wave energy company that converts ocean and sea waves into clean, reliable, and cost-efficient electricity using its patented and intelligent technology. Learn more at ecowavepower.com. Then you met Norsemont Mining. Norsemont Mining is a Canadian resource development company focused on advancing and developing the past-producing Choque Limpie gold, silver, copper project in northern Chile, a project with both significant existing resources and remarkable upside. Learn more at norsemont.com. Then you met Eloro Resources. Eloro is a publicly traded exploration and mine development company focused on developing its potentially giant Iska-Iska silver tin polymetallic property in the Potosi department of southern Bolivia. Learn more at elororesources.com. Then you met SafeSpace Global. SafeSpace Global, through its subsidiaries, operates as a multimodal AI technology solutions company in the United States, Europe, Singapore, and India. It offers SafeFace Fall Monitoring, a product that utilizes AI monitoring tools for resident safety in senior living. Learn more at safespaceglobal.ai. Don't forget to check out our stocks page. It is the biggest small-cap stock portal in the industry. It has every company listed on the NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange with market caps of $2 billion and less. And it's categorized by industry. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small-cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel. And be sure to sign up for our weekly newsletter and learn about a lot of small-cap companies. Also, go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly our client companies. And you'll hear straight from the CEO, and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, if you have any questions about any of our public companies featured on today's show, call us at 1-800-REDCHIP or email us at info@redchip.com. In closing, remember, while small caps can provide significant gains, you must be prepared for the downside. Small cap stocks are among the most volatile of asset classes. Some of the companies featured on this show are RedChip client companies, and we may own stock in these companies. So please, always read our disclosures at redchip.com. Thanks for being with us today. We'll see you next week with some new, exciting, emerging growth companies.
RedChip. We build investor audiences for small cap companies, retail and institutional. 33 years, thousands of clients. We are experts in messaging. National TV ad campaigns, investor webinars, digital media, reaching hundreds of thousands of investors. RedChip. We do it well, we do it right, we do it big. RedChip. Call us or email us today.